loves your
just to get the cleavage right there.
I know, right?
I redid this like 3 times, and I was like, why is it like... Because like I would pull it down to your face, and then I would click OK, and then it would be like...
It would just be back on the cleavage.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yep.
Can I get this? Can I get this, Facebook?
We're going to try.
Facebook.
We're going to try.
Hi, Facebook.
Hey! What's happening?
Can I get it?
We're trying. We're trying.
Are we live?
We are.
Okay.
We need to be muted, though.
Oh, I thought I muted it.
You muted it on the other one, but you didn't mute it on this one.
Hello?
See? There you go.
All right. We're here. So welcome to your Wednesday night conversation. I'm Felicia. Minor. I forgot my name.
Think about that?
I was like, oh my God. See what I was talking about?
Wow, this is why we have this. Because I said, hi, my name is...
script to get our own name, honey.
Forget it if nobody ever told me.
It's my name.
Anyway, we have Mr. USofA, MI, classic, Freddy, Prinze Charming. I'm just going to keep saying it.
Yeah. Another 5 months or so to keep saying it. And then afterwards you can keep saying it, but you have to make sure that you add the year in there as well. So
that might become a challenge for me, though.
It might. We'll have to put it into the...
It's your Wednesday night conversation, and for more than 6 motherfucking years. It's been more than just the gossip. It's the issues that matter most to you. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. And we have our special guest, Miss Pandora DeStrange.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, I have a question before we even do this.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is it DeStrange, or DeStranger?
DeStrange is the correct pronunciation.
DeStrange. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
But we live in the desert, and crackers don't really necessarily know how to pronounce shit. So I'm fine. I'll answer to anything. I don't give a fuck.
Because I've heard it a million different ways, and it's like, all right, I need to find out 100% what is it. Because, bitch, as someone whose name gets fucked up all the fucking time.
Oh, spelled wrong, did wrong.
Right.
All
so I'm
wrong.
like, let me find out. So now that it's out there.
It is, and just so you know, it
got
comes
it documented.
from day of or from, and Strange, a.k.a. Grace Jones, and Boomerang. She gave birth to that bottle, you know. Strange stinks so good. So I figure I fell out right after that. So hence is day from Strange.
Wow, that and more in this episode. Jeez. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It's okay. It's alright.
I don't know what the fuck Twitch is.
Oh, we'll skip that part because I didn't change it for whatever reason. We're brought to you by Wigs of a Kind. You can find them at wigsofakind.com, or you can find them on Facebook. All one word, Wigs of a Kind. Somebody asked me that the other day, and it was hard to explain to them because they obviously, I guess, don't need a wig because they couldn't figure it out. Anyway, and we're brought to you by the Burley Barber at theburleybarbers.com.
I have an appointment on Saturday to get all trimmed up before all my traveling and shit.
How burly are the barbers, baby?
You'd have to go to find out.
Well, if I had hair, I would.
They do an amazing straight razor shave.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I'm saying, like, they do the whole, oh my god, it's amazing. Because I get a straight razor fade. So they've got, like, they do, like, the hot towel, and then
Don't
they
you
do,
get
like,
sugar scrub or something?
they, like, right, then they'll do, like, a sugar scrub, and then they'll do, like, a cold towel, and, like, lotion and things.
Okay, they lubricate you too.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It is lovely.
I'm gonna have to go.
And we couldn't do this without our Patreon supporters. We have Joan Bish, Leanne Dunton, and Allison Guild, and
Gillian,
sorry, and Carrie and Corey McClemens, and Brandon McGill, and Bess Tardy just added himself to our list, and Casey Starr. Yes, join us on Patreon today at patreon.com/letshaveafefe.
If I had the login, I would be able to, like, add stuff on my own, but I don't, so I can't.
Yeah. Sounds like a problem that we should have fixed the last time and not on the air.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Just saying.
Whoa.
Just putting that out there. Because now it's on record. Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
It's cool.
You said that the last time.
I know.
To fix that.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just
while we're sitting here.
I'm just
But
saying.
anyway, what did you do this weekend?
Actually, this weekend was kind of cool. So on Friday, I took a half day and I came and got Felicia, and we drove up to New Mexico for the very first Mr. New Mexico USofA MI and MI Classic pageant.
Wow.
And I have to say that Tim Wynn is the new promoter. He's new to the system. He's new to promoting. He's new to all of it, and he is going to be a fantastic promoter. Like,
very hospitable.
Like, not only is he hospitable, but he's like, no, I want to make sure that, my kings have everything they need to succeed. And he has plans for his title holders past nationals. Like, not just win national, like, now you've qualified and now whatever, so then you go to nationals and then nothing. He's like, no. If you're going to be a title holder for me, then you're going to have to do other
work,
stuff.
Honey.
Like, we're doing, like, fundraisers that aren't about pageants. Like, we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing some...
I think is
I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I think too many people tend to, especially when it comes to prelims, it's like, oh, now I've qualified for nationals. Now I've gone to nationals. I don't have to do anything until I step down.
Or
it's
you
like,
don't see them for like 6 months and you're like,
right.
Okay.
You don't, nothing until they have to step down. And so the fact that Tim has these ideas for his title holders, I think is fantastic. And like the whole thing was just awesome. Like Tim was amazing. The Airbnb that he got for us was so nice. Like, it was comfortable.
It was huge.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you weren't afraid to touch anything. Like, oh God. But it was like, had this lovely outside backyard that we had coffee in the morning, and like it was.
We were almost convinced that we were gonna buy it.
Right, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this house.
I was like, well,
if it wasn't in Albuquerque. But it was nice. On Friday night, we went to Tim took us out to dinner to Tomasitos. So we had some Tomasitas. So we had some Mexican food, had some green chili. It was good stuff. Then we went to Friday night was crazy because we went to dinner and then we went to Soch for a few minutes and then we went to FX. FX reminds me, it's like a 3-story nightclub.
There used to be a club like that here.
It reminds me of the clubs that I used to go to when I was like 20-something, all dancing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm way too old for this shit now.
They didn't have one floor that was kind of like low-key where you could chill and have a conversation?
There was
at the top, there was like a low-key bar.
Right, like a little sitting area, but I'm like, oh, God, I'm too old for this shit.
But back in the day, you always had a couple different floors, but you had that one where you could just chill out.
Yeah.
If your dress was kicking in, you could just...
Right, that's where you just go...
Piece real quick.
And the pageant itself on Saturday was great. We have 3 folks going to nationals. I'm super, super proud of my drag kid, Trey Michaels, who won his 2nd title in the USofA system. He is now Mr. New Mexico USofA MI. And his first alternate, Alexander Strike, is a fairly new king. He's only been performing for maybe about a year or so. Went out and did a really, really good job, and he's first alternate, so he's going to nationals as well. And then we have a new classic as well, who is also new to the system, going to nationals. Too. So, and Felicia was a judge, so Felicia got the insight on all of it. Yeah, she's judging on an official capacity.
Yes, officially, I wrote it down, so that means people saw my thoughts.
Right.
But I think overall, they came to slay. That's all I can say. And for me, social media plays a big part because look at where we are. But what was happening as we were going to New Mexico is almost invalidation of drag kings was happening on social media as we were driving to New Mexico. And that was like my question for like the whole interview process was, how are you going to like debunk all these people and tell them kings are here, because it's not just in Phoenix that they have that problem, it's in New Mexico that they have that problem, it's in other places that they have these problems, that people are just all gung-ho queen and then forget about kings. But kings cannot disappear. That's one thing that from all this conversation, I hope that kings get this, I don't know, this fight about them, about being part of a community, because you guys belong just as much as we do.
Well,
in fact, if not more.
Shameless plug. If y'all want to see a gaggle of kings and boylesque and things like that, make your way to Austin next month, because there's King Fest that's happening on that Thursday, and a good, I believe, half of the headliners are either drag kings or boylesque performers or something that is not a cisgender drag queen. So,
I mean, I'm not trying to discount any of us, but
I am. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think it's new-ish is what, like the last decade, really, that it's become more inclusive.
Yeah.
Like where before that, it really was strictly, female impersonation.
Oh God, yeah. No, I mean, I'm one of the folks that's been around that long, and I remember what it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt. And so it's wonderful that it's opening up to everybody in all kinds of drag.
Yeah,
you know,
no, it's awesome. It really is.
But yeah, I was proud of watching all of that go down and watching how it was just beautiful.
It was
beautiful.
good. It was a great pageant. It really
and
was.
Albuquerque Social Club treated us so well. What was Gwen backstage.
Oh my God! Backstage folks, y'all need to learn how to do this shit right. Go talk to Gwen, cause oh my God.
We were what I was telling him and Dustin is that they put me like in this room that's like a VIP room, I guess, but away from people, and I was by myself for the most part, but whenever I had difficulty with something, I'd be thinking to myself, God, I wish somebody would come help me. And then, like, I would, like, get up to go get somebody to help me, and she would be right there. She was like, oh, do you need something? And I'm like,
this woman
had... I was like,
this
oh,
woman had
okay.
scissors, had tape, had
zip ties. Yes.
Like, everything you could possibly need. Literally anything you could need. Hey, Gwen, do you have...
I asked her for bobby pins. I was like,
fucking Mary Poppins bag.
I'm like, can you come with me?
Bitch got a Barney bag, honey.
She just went.
Just all it's fucking crazy.
She's like, is this enough? And I'm like, actually, it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, and Monday, this was actually very cool.
Yes.
I got to go to it's the ASU College of Behavioral Health, I believe. It's whatever is in it's in the Westward Ho downtown. There's actually a section that belongs to ASU. It's really strange. But I was there, and I dragged Teddy Michael along with me because we just did the conference in Denver for the Transparent Conference and all this stuff. And we were there because the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has just rolled out a new policy regarding interactions with trans, non-binary, and intersex individuals. It's designed to, and the effective date was Monday.
Oh, wow, I didn't know it was that quick.
Yep, the effective date was Monday. So basically what it is it was rolled out, and it's, there's still classes, like they've got trainings that are going on, they're supervisors on down. And it's everything from like a stop to an arrest to intake to everything.
Oh, wow.
And it's talking about like pronouns and correct terminology and checking with when folks get brought in, when they're getting processed, figuring out, okay, if you're going to jail, where are you most comfortable being housed? Like they're actually asking these questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like instead of just assuming and just going with, okay, well, we're
gonna throw you in there,
right? Like oh, you're a trans woman, so you have a penis, therefore we're gonna house you with the men, which is still a big deal, and that's still happening. So now they're actually asking, like, where would you prefer? Would you prefer solitary? Would you prefer protective custody? How do you feel? They're letting trans women be housed with the women. They're letting trans men be housed with the men if they're comfortable and they feel safe doing so. Like there's all sorts of things, even down to the underwear, where like because in jail it was regardless of, your ID says male, even though you're not presenting as male, you get male underwear. Now, whatever is most comfortable for you, you get. So if you want to wear boxers, they'll give you boxers. So it's a good thing. Obviously, it's one of these things where there's still tweaking some stuff. But Teddy and I were there. We did ask some questions regarding, some of the implementation and stuff like that. So, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to be there, so that there was representation from the trans community to ask these types of questions.
Yeah.
But it was great. We made some good contacts. We were both approached about being potentially on the board to help with further stuff to do with this
implementation.
and then also to come down and speak in some of their training sessions at the sheriff's office. So
wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited. It was really good. It's a good thing that these things are happening, that these discussions are happening, and it opened up a few doors and got us some connections. So
Corey says that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm not mad about it. It was good. Mike Finelli was there, and shout out to Kevin Bouchard from that gave me the heads up on it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was good. Yeah.
Go ahead, Arizona.
Yeah, and mind you, this was just the sheriff's office, so Phoenix PD hasn't gotten on board with this shit yet. So,
well, and it's not like going to jail is a comfortable fucking experience.
No, it's not. It's definitely like
let me get you a pillow.
Right?
Okay.
Like
here's your drawers, bitch.
How long do you want to stay?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like everybody knows.
Service.
Everybody knows that you get pulled over, you go to jail. Chances are you probably done something. You fucked up, but they're trying to
ease that process.
Well, for a community that is already disenfranchised and at a higher risk for violence, so they're trying to curb that a little bit. Which you know what I think is an excellent start. It's a fantastic start. So, and the sheriff himself was there. Sheriff Penzone was there, and he spoke a little bit, and so it was good.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a whole lot better than Joe Arpaio.
More, can you imagine this shit happening under Arpaio? Not a fucking chance.
Yeah,
not a fucking chance.
Is there a rumor that he's trying to run for something again?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. He probably. I'm surprised we haven't seen a bid for him for president.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not on Trump's cabinet.
I'm like,
don't say that.
He was gonna be for a minute there until he was a scandal. They backed up off that shit. But he was about to be.
Yeah, they were like,
right
ooh,
there.
we already have enough scandals here. We're full up. We don't need another one. Thanks.
They're like, at the door.
He would have lasted about 3 weeks, considering everybody else in his cabinet has been replaced at least once at this point.
Yeah.
So
but they did hire him. Would have been typecasting for Hot Shitty Mess the music.
Oh shit. Yeah. What did you do this weekend, Pandora?
I went and saw on Friday. I went to see Friday the 13th, the musical parody over at Playhouse in the Park.
Oh my god!
Wow. Oh my god! It is delicious, delightful. It's disturbing. Definitely go see it. I think they have one more week left.
Oh,
where is it?
It's Playhouse in the Park. It's right across from Phoenix Theater and the Art Museum.
Okay, yeah.
In the Viad building. It's super cute and and it's like an all puppet cast. And it's ridiculous.
God.
Jason's mother is just a head that is I'm not gonna say anything else, but go see that shit because it is hysterical.
I need to see that. That sounds fantastic.
Wow.
Yes, so much fun.
We should find out more so we can go.
Yes,
Right?
definitely. Go check it out.
I don't know when. But
I was like, they only have another week. Let me see if I can.
Make it happen. It is worth every second, for real.
I'll have to
good
see if we can
stuff.
find that.
Their next show for Christmas time is Die Hard, the musical.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And just another shameless plug, I think it's February, they're going to be doing Reservoir Dogs.
are you
With an
serious?
all-dog cast.
Oh,
Yes. So go check it out, for real.
Oh,
it's called All Puppet Players. They are disturbed. They're so much fun.
Oh, my God.
Hi, Marissa.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
And so other than that, I just sat around on my fat ass and, did a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of cooking. That trimmed my bush. I did. I was on my way home and I saw the Ace Hardware and something made me stop. I just had this butch moment and I got me some edge clippers and I literally trimmed the bushes in my yard, bitch.
Oh, okay. Hedge clippers.
Real true story, girl. How butches fuck on Saturday.
Yeah, hashtag same. When I forget for a few weeks, I have to get the hashtag. It's really awkward. You know, it's like...
Well, back in the day, I was kind of trying to rock the 70s bush and Savannah and Olivia said they found out where Jimmy Hoffa was hidden. I have trimmed my bush since that hateful experience.
Oh, wow.
Manscaping is sometimes necessary, depending on how one feels.
But bald pussies I'm not okay with, though. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
I want some hair on it. You can keep the bald dick.
Oh, wow.
Does that go well into your
Kind of. So, tell me about bald dick.
Yeah.
This is actually a fairly short tip this evening, but a lot of the times, you know, we talk about things that, you know, we like last week we talked about prep and we talked about that kind of stuff. And every once in a while, I like to kind of throw something in there where it's just sort of an informational, fun kind of, hey, did you know this is a thing? This is one of those nights, because why not? So tonight, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something called kokigami. Kokigami. Now, what this
painful.
is, it's actually not. I know it's not.
It's like bukkake and origami met and had a baby.
Kind of.
Okay.
So, what it is, it's a Japanese word, and it comes from the word koki, which is a cloth that's worn by Japanese actors and is often like taken off and used as a prop. And gami, which is paper, which you might recognize from origami, which is the art of folding paper. So,
origami,
what
which
this is... Oh, hell.
I digress.
So
this is gonna sound so amazing on the podcast.
So kokigami is actually the art of wrapping the penis in a paper costume.
Shut up.
And what it is it's actually based on the 8th century Japanese aristocrats who practiced tsutsumi, or packaging.
Do you want me to show that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea of packaging, we're going to show you this, is basically what they would do is they would wrap their penis and decorate their penis in like either a fun character or almost like a gift. And part of foreplay would be unwrapping it and interacting with it as this sort of separate entity. Like this, you know, you have it wrapped as a present, so you can go that, that whole route.
Like a dick in a box.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's like a whole, and then like you see in the picture, it's a duck. So it's like a combination like foreplay and role play kind of thing, because you can take it away for now. So it's sort of like, it's like, so you have like the sorry. I'm getting there. So you have like
sorry, I'm 12.
Foreshadowing.
Oh God. You haven't even gotten there yet.
Girl, I'm having a hot flash behind this kokigami man.
Oh, why do I do at this point I'm like, why do I do this? So basically, the idea of it is that with the kokigami, with the paper folding, is that there's different characters. So there's like dragons, and there's geese, and there's fish, and there's squid, things that are sort of typically kind of Japanese. And there's books out there that give you like cutouts that you can cut out and fold into things. So to give you an idea, this is one of them.
Oh Lord.
So you can see
all
how
puns intended.
the horse, there's a whole new meaning to the term horsecock. So you see that it's, it kind of wraps itself around the penis and gives it...
Is it a dragon or
It's a horse.
It has like a weird thingy.
It looks like it's chewing on the
It's
penis.
got a...
Like the penis is a bit in its mouth.
It's got a braille and stuff. So if you go over to the other visual that I sent you...
Oh my God.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
There you go. So this is
Ah!
what the cutout looks like. So what you would do basically is it's designed for you.
That's that?
Yeah.
That's this.
Yes.
That's so creepy.
So you would cut it out and you would
That looks like a warthog.
put it
That's
appropriately
what I'm
around.
thinking. That doesn't look the same.
If you wrap it around your,
I'm gonna have to get me one.
are you gonna print it? Just print it out. Just print it out. Cut it out, and you'll see, like you see, like they've got the little like.
Now, if people
the-
sent me dick pics like this,
Right, that'd be more.
I'd be like,
interesting.
okay, you took some effort.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Bring that horse on over to my stall, honey.
But if you look, so you see like the bits on the side, it's got like the groove, so you cut those so you can like
Intersect
right,
them and
so,
wrap it around.
right, and that's how that would work. So yeah, so there you go. There's actually an entire book. You can go to the next one.
Hold on, I have to adjust this one.
Okay. So there's a book that was written. It's called Kokigami: The Intimate Art of Little Paper Costume. And you can actually find it on Amazon, believe it or not. And it's got different cutouts, and
That's
it explains what it is.
$35.
Damn.
But why can't you get the hardcover for $2.99? Explain that to me.
It's used.
Oh,
It's-
ew.
You don't want to get no used.
It's already
Kokigami
cut out.
girl.
Everything's all cut out. All you just get, yeah.
You just flip the pages, you're like,
right, there's
you're all
like
stuck
one-
together.
Aw.
it says good condition.
Right.
Mildly used.
So
Leave
there
it
you
alone.
go. That's just a little bit of sort of a
Oh.
a different culture, little fun thing that and it's not really any different than because you go to Fascinations or you go to Castle, you go to any adult store, you have the thongs that look like elephants and shit, right? Same thing,
Okay.
just more creative. And the whole point of the Kokigami and the Tsutsumi and all that is the interaction that goes along with it. So it's not just hey, look at it. Like there's the idea behind it is the whole. It's the foreplay. It's the role playing with it. It's the interaction with the penis. So unfortunately, you can really only do that if you have a penis. If you don't have one, you're kind of SOL.
You can
Well,
always
you
get
could-
one at the store, honey.
I mean, I
You do that with the
If I had a
Yeah.
strap on, I could. You know what I mean? But you could, but it's not quite the. I guess you're supposed to.
Everybody should have one.
But yeah, so
Just
there
because.
you go. That's just a little bit of a something. I found it. And I was like,
Because
oh,
it's a
this is
dick in a
interesting.
box.
Oh my God. I thought it was interesting, so I figured I would share and let the masses
That
be
is
educated.
very interesting. So
Kokigami?
I had to load these graphics before the show started. So I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, bitch. So I had to read it. I'm like, but I was waiting for you to explain that one because it looked like a dragon to me at first.
No, you figure it's going to be a stylized. If you look at animals that are usually if they're Asian in any way, it doesn't matter what.
Oh, they all have that.
They're more stylized. So it kind of looked like a dragon, but you see it was wearing a bridle. If you look at the ears, and it looked like it, so.
I mean, we can celebrate the new year.
Yeah, they've got all sorts of things. Look, there's a pig. If you look, the cover of the book has a pig on it. I know some people that are into the whole pig thing. Put a pig on your dick.
I don't know. None of those pictures look like something I want to stick my dick in.
Y'all should go in halvesies for the book and.
I think we should have a Kokigami party,
Just sitting around going,
All right, I'm gonna get them, and I'm just gonna send you pictures of all my dildos, just
decorating.
right, all of them, every
Got a
single one of
whole
them. They're all gonna
barnyard
brand. They're all just gonna be sitting.
with
Yeah,
Call
I'm
me
gonna
on
set up a
McDonald's.
tea party for all my dildos because there's gonna be like the whole.
Clearly, I need a rooster.
Oh my god.
Bukakagami.
Mm-hmm.
Closing that right away.
Okay.
Right away. Right away.
Everybody just go quiet. Everybody's just like, what the fuck are they?
I think we
What are they
scared
going
people.
for?
We've talked about far worse things. That can't have scared them.
I don't know.
I sort of specialize in
I
scaring
think
people,
everything's just. Is the chat? Do we have to reload the chat? Because sometimes it's
No.
See, I was
They
wearing
got quiet
hair and
after you
makeup.
started talking about you could put paper around your dick.
With a paper cut, ow, bitch, and it looks like
And
it's
that'd
gonna
be
eat my
soft
dick.
paper.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can move on to our guests now. Since everybody decided to get all fucking quiet all of a sudden. We've talked about worse things. Get over it.
So, Pandora, how are you? How are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Hi.
You haven't been here since we discovered season 2. Season 2, back in the day. What have you been up to since then?
Selling weed, girl. Been selling weed and doing drag and cooking.
Living the life,
baby.
baby.
Yeah, so
Your
that's what I've
husband
been
is taking
doing.
a shower.
Yeah, usually it's not that loud, though. So I don't know why. So if you hear the shower in the background, especially on the podcast, because I noticed this week that you can hear everything that's going on. Like when my kids go in and out of the bathroom, you can hear that on the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ha!
We're in a closet, bitch. That's what we are. We're in a closet in the house.
See, Michelle put the book on.
We can't read that to the children.
Oh, God. It's our next story time. There you go.
But it could be the adult one.
Part of the arts and crafts.
It could be the adult one.
It could. You know what? But that is part of the arts and crafts.
Not for the children.
Oh.
Whatever.
I mean, since we're talking about going to jail, we could be
Man.
comfortable. Anyway, back to Pandora.
We're talking about going to jail.
Speaking
I
of
can't
going to
say
jail.
I haven't had that experience, but
So during the day, selling the weed.
selling the weed. Yeah, it's an herbal wellness center down on Indian School and 43rd Avenue. For those of you hoes in Arizona who got their medical card, come on down.
Now, is it just weed, or do you guys do CBD too?
We do both. We have Herbal Wellness Center, and that's where we focus on the THC, and then we have the wellness spot next door, and that's where we have the CBD.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Is that for anybody?
Yeah.
The CBD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
sure.
don't have to. CBD is legal 100%.
You can get it on Amazon, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And really, yeah, good stuff. And there's even some of the local drag queens here in town be working at the wellness spot. So come on down, hang out. Yeah, there's a lot of family working there at the Herbal Wellness Center. I kind of really hired the Rainbow Coalition when I took over. So if you want to find out about, like, you know, how to use cannabis to heal how you have going on with you, it's a good place to go.
Do they? And this is a serious question. Do they have classes for that?
You know, you can find some. There's a great place online called Green Flower Media, and you can pay $10 and have access to all kinds of really amazing workshops and seminars and
That's
stuff
really
with all
cool,
of the leading
actually.
people in the cannabis industry. Yeah, it's wonderful. And we do stuff at the wellness spot, and we throw parties and stuff like that where we have that kind of thing go on. But yeah, we're really big on education down there. So if you want to learn about the good weeds, that's the place to go.
I actually need to come down and get some CBD stuff at some point.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, one of the really cool things about Herbal Wellness Center and Vapin and, you know, sort of the companies that we're aligned with, we do a lot to give back to the community. And one of the things we did starting at Gay Pride was we had a whole line of batteries and cartridges that were geared specifically for our community, and $1 from every sale went back to the community of every battery, of every cartridge.
Cool.
And then we came out with a whole line of products called Frisque.
Nice.
And there's a CBD bath bomb. There's some pussy rejuvenating spray, honey. Like we got some positives.
Look, I understand
massage
that I'm old,
oil.
but listen.
Okay.
He's
This
not
shit
gearing
gets dusty,
into the
honey.
audience.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta give her a squirt. You
I'm
know?
on crab. No fucking reason. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm a responsible adult.
Jesus, that's so depressing.
Maybe you need to just get it high.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Just put it up in there and see what happens.
I would fall asleep in 2.2 seconds.
Could happen. Very true.
With weed, that's why I don't smoke. Like, I don't have anything against it, but I immediately just fall asleep. It doesn't matter what it is, what type. I just like, well, this is.
Oh, I just chill out.
It's like it's not fun for me. Like it serves zero purpose.
Unless you really need to sleep.
Unless I really need to sleep. But then my problem is that I have a hard time getting up. So I can't like use it as a sleep aid because it leaves me groggy. So then it's right. CBD I can do. So like, you know, if I have like CBD literally like edibles, those work awesome on my migraines, and I don't have to worry about trying to function.
Yeah. There's also Delta 8 THC, which is not as psychoactive as Delta 9. and may give you more relief than maybe just CBD. So there's all kinds of different parts of the plant that are really helpful, actually.
Yes, there's all. I know there's like it's not just
educating,
right.
just educating.
Yes, Miss Thing. And the interesting part was, I've been selling weed since the mid '80s.
But now you get to do it legally.
I know, right? So I've redeemed myself in my parents' eyes. Like, now they're all
like,
calling
look at her.
Yes, and my favorite part was now I was just doing research for my career later in life. So
that's what it was. It took a while.
Indeed.
You had to have the experience.
Don't give up on your dreams, kids.
Right. And when they went medical here, I waited a year or two to see if they were just setting everybody up.
Right.
And trying to get all the potheads to get their cars and lock all these bitches up. But after a couple of years when it didn't happen, I was like, how do I get a job legally selling weed? Like, I need to know about it because I know I could sell some weed. But I also was really passionate about the plant and all that it could do to help people, help the environment, all of that. I mean, it's silly that it's not legal anyways when we have tobacco and alcohol and opiates and aspirin and all these other things that will kill you, bitch. But Miss Mary ain't never hurt nobody, except for maybe make them real paranoid and pass out.
But that's the thing.
Because they think they're dying.
They're going to get like paranoid and then they're basically just going to fall asleep.
Right.
Like very rarely do you see anybody, in fact, hardly, I don't think ever really, do you see anybody on weed doing dumb shit?
No, because you
not
get too
like
high,
alcohol. Right, and that's exactly what it is.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have assholes getting wasted and getting in their car and killing people because
that's what they do.
And most of the potheads I know, if they get too hot, they hang out at their friend's house a little longer. They spend a little time, and then when they are fine,
relationships.
Yes, then they go out and they responsibly bring their ass home when they know they can drive. But unfortunately, reefer madness mentality is real. I was having a conversation with a police officer recently, and he said, "Well, what if I smoked weed and then went to work?" And I said, well, then maybe you won't accidentally shoot that black man because you were real anxious, And what I find is that they compare it to drugs like heroin or alcohol or something.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
When really it should be compared to maybe Valium and aspirin, because, again, you can smoke a lot of weed. The worst thing that happens is you go to sleep.
Right.
Now, if you're driving down the street when you go to sleep, that might be a problem. But again, most of the potheads I know are really responsible and would never do that. Right. Because we know our limits. So, anyways, I could go on for hours, child.
We'll have to have you back and actually go through the whole,
give us the breakdown of the strength.
The whole
Here's a cool one for you. The most widely prescribed medicine here in the United States until 1938 was cannabis oil. Made by the companies that made Excedrin. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because then it would have been right around that time when you have, that was when the whole, let's break down on all the drugs and everything, and it was right around, it was the 50s.
Yeah.
So was that
when they were still paying cocaine and Coke?
Yeah.
It was, and Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would have been right around the 40s and 50s when things started getting, cracked down on,
Exactly.
Because it's schedule. I'm confused. Yeah, because it's schedule.
Confused.
That's when they scheduled it. Yeah, exactly. It is fucking bullshit. You're right. It's ridiculous. Because Schedule 1 means there are no medicinal uses. When we, literally our government has had the patent on different types of cannabis for decades now. So they've known that it helps medicinally, but have not changed the scheduling because they make more money locking bitches up. Okay?
Oh, and the pharmaceuticals run the fucking country.
Oh, indeed.
The big pharma companies, they run the country, and you don't want to take anything out of their pockets.
No, because they are guaranteed their check every 30 days, honey. Don't try to rob
when you have cancer drugs that cost people tens of thousands of dollars a month, They're not going to want to get rid of that. That's why there's no cure for cancer.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're healthy? Oh, no.
Like, no.
You
You
can't
can't be
have
healthy.
that.
We're going to find something else that's wrong with you and prescribe you all of these drugs here.
Right.
You know, and they're usually something along the lines of antipsychotics or antidepressants or something along those lines, which are going to fuck you up way more than weed is ever going to fuck you up.
Indeed, and you're physically addictive in a very short period of time.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, as soon as you stop, you're going to withdraw everything else. But weed can help with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the wonderful thing about Mary. Like, and it comes from the earth. You know, it's like God gave us this plant because
look at places like Colorado that have just legalized it, and that the tax money that they're getting from it is actually going to good things
like education.
Yeah, fixing the roads,
Fixing
computers
the
in all the schools,
roads,
music
fixing
programs
the
coming
homeless
back.
situation.
Meanwhile, they've been
Like-
trying to tax cigarettes for God knows how long, and they haven't done anything.
And that was, you know, our cash crop that rose up after, but it used to be hemp before that. You know, you would go to jail in this country for a period of time if you didn't grow weed.
Huh.
Because they needed it for the war
Right.
efforts, for the ropes and the sails and the ships and all of that stuff. So yeah, this used to be,
I see
weed
that.
used to be as American as apple pie.
Yeah, but then pharmaceuticals, and then that's
Lumber,
that's,
oil, all
yep.
those greedy bastards,
Yep.
you know, who are raping the earth on a
Yep.
regular basis, rose up and are still fucking us up today.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
Speaking, you know,
Yeah.
even the orange guy wants to open coal plants again.
because
That
that's
Cheeto.
not going back fucking 80 years. You
Yeah.
dipshit.
Even small doses of mushrooms are being given.
Well, there's
Oh,
there's
yeah.
microdosing.
California is about to
Yep.
make mushrooms
Can
legal.
I just
and-
give like a major applause to California? California is just
Okay, they're doing it. Honey.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
they're
Yeah.
like, excuse me, we're gonna just go ahead and do whatever we want.
Well, they've already found. I mean, in the Netherlands, they've actually pretty much everything is legal.
Mm.
And what they found is by making everything legal is
people don't really.
they're
wanna do
not dealing with as many overdose deaths. They're not dealing with as many bad batches of
Mhm.
heroin and crack and shit like that because it's all regulated now.
Yeah.
And because it's all regulated, they can actually keep an eye on it. You know, they can keep track of what's happening.
Hi,
and what's going
Alexander.
on.
And give people help that want
Right,
help.
and that's-
you know?
that's-
and if
it's
you're gonna
not
do it responsibly,
criminalized.
use it. Yeah, don't use
The
dirty
Netherlands
needles.
also has like strong help for mental
Yeah.
health as well. So
I have a friend who actually lives in Germany who to help with their anxiety and depression is microdosing LSD.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like these things
A lot of people have
Are-
success with that. And ayahuasca
right,
and all of
like
those other
it's the
additional
microdosing.
areas.
It's not like you're gonna take a shit ton of LSD and be tripping all fucking day.
Yeah.
It's literally like just a minuscule amount, but that minuscule amount
Changes the chemistry
does
in your brain.
all sorts of shit.
Mhm.
And yet we're all still like, no, drugs are bad. All drugs are evil. Okay,
No.
but meanwhile, alcohol is still legal. And
If they were so bad, everybody wouldn't be doing them.
mm,
I'm just saying. First time I took acid, honey, I saw the light.
yeah,
I was like, girl, I am
And that's,
connected, to all of this. I need to try to do as much of this as possible, honey. Was talking to God, girl.
You bet.
Mhm. Learn some shit on LSD.
Definitely, I think we should definitely have you back to go over the whole talk about THC and talk about the different things and really go into depth because I think that would be really, really, really helpful.
Go into
really
depth
something,
about
yeah,
that.
like really something to talk about. So Felicia, let's make that happen.
Yes.
Let's see. So you've got a Halloween thing happening too at Crescent Ballroom.
Yes, so we're going to be doing that together. They're doing
Yes.
Halloween in Fair Verona, so a Romeo and Juliet themed kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yes, and she is going to be Sarah Petruccio.
Yes.
It's going to be really amazing.
Petruccio?
Yes. Chris
Have you
Rock
seen?
said it.
Never mind. We'll
It's
go ahead.
fierce,
Haven't I
honey.
seen what?
Young hearts are going to run free at the Crescent on
Oh,
Halloween.
that's right. That Romeo and Juliet. That's right.
Yes, it's going to
We
be me
talked
and
about
her.
Yes,
and
I forget. I don't
Dallas.
listen to you.
The
Like, I listen
shade
to
of it
every-
all.
I'm just like, yeah.
Good for you.
Oh my god, that's amazing. And then I usually have to go find somebody else to talk to. Be like, did you hear anything that she said?
Girl, no word.
Yeah, it's fine.
The difficulty of owning and starting a dispensary is killing the tax profit in California. They're not making as much money on it as they thought.
Oh yeah,
Red tape and
There's
shit.
a whole lot of people making a whole lot of money though. I'm here to tell you. Oklahoma is giving away licenses at a really, really low. Like you can get a license for cheap in Oklahoma.
Huh.
So there's a lot of opportunities there. Each state is a little different. Most states it's really ridiculously expensive to open a dispensary.
Suzette says she has a friend who was able to get past severe alcoholism with a doctor who gave her microdoses of LSD, and she does so much better now.
Yeah.
Ibogaine, that's another route that a lot of people use to get off of heroin and alcohol.
Yeah, these are they're totally things, but most doctors aren't going to prescribe anything like that because it takes the money away from the big pharma, which pays their bills.
Yeah.
And Evelyn says she can talk about drugs all day.
Right? Yeah, me too. I feel you.
And
I love
Amy,
you too, Amy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what's happening then at Halloween? So, what's the whole shindig?
So we're doing that at Halloween. I'm not really very clear on exactly what they're doing. They said they wanted to have that moment happen at the party, and my first thought was Felicia would be fierce.
As long as she's not
And then and I called
I'm
some
dancing.
She's dancing. Yes. See, shit happens when you get with DeStrange.
Can you make sure that you get that on video? Because I'm going to be out of town, so we won't be able
It will be posted all over the social media.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But it's going to be a great time, you know. They always throw wonderful parties at the Crescent, and like all kinds of different people show up. It's one of those places you can go and actually chit chat with everybody and have a good time. Everybody's not on their phone ignoring your ass all night. People are there to connect, you know. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. And then the following day for Dia de los Muertos, I'm taking over the Clarendon Hotel with Pyra Sutra, and we're doing the Haunted Hollywood Hotel. So we are going to unearth some of our favorite dead celebrities and perform as those celebrities. So it's going to be a good time. And it's a costume party, so everybody needs to come dressed as their favorite dead celebrity. And yes, that does include their careers. So if you want to be Courtney Love, you can still do that. It's okay.
Damn!
I love me some Courtney, don't get me wrong, but ain't sooner no longer. But that's going to be cool. And there's like 18 of us performing that night.
Shit.
It's going to be out of control. So me and Pyra and some of my favorite burlesque girls here in town, some of my favorite queens, Erica Torres is going to come out and give you some divine.
Nice.
It's going to be so nice. Yes. Okay. It's going to be a good time.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the really cool part about that too is I've done several medicated events with vaping and stuff like that there, and so the rooftop will be for medical card holders.
Oh, that's
a
awesome.
VIP area with a little medicated edible bar and the dabs up on the roof. It's gonna be a good time.
So I was gonna say the last time I had an edible.
Mm.
So I'm super sensitive. I'm super sensitive anyway. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a controlled substance, I'm sensitive to it. Whether it's alcohol, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So the last time I did an edible was, God, it was fucking years ago. And it was on a drive from here to Modesto, California.
Did a friend make that edible?
A friend did make an edible.
And, those are always the really scary edibles.
I don't measure.
I wasn't thinking. Like, I don't know what the fuck. And it was one of those, like, cookie brownie, like, things. So, you I had 2.
Ooh.
Because
you had 2?
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I was like, just like,
these are great.
And oh my God, I was fucking miserable. I had to perform the next day. So it was a 15-hour drive and then I had to perform the next day. This is the only time I have ever overheated. Ever. I had performed at Phoenix Pride. We were in Modesto. This is Northern California.
That's cool.
It was like 79. There's pictures of me after performing where I have no shirt on, so I'm trying to cover my fucking boobs. There's an EMT that's trying to feed me a fruit cup. And I've got wet paper towels on the back of my neck, under my armpits, all over because I am fucking miserable. And I'm like, it's fine. I got up, projectile vomited everywhere. It took me 3 days. 3 days to come back from this fucking edible.
What kind of friend was this that let you eat the
Gunner?
cookie?
Well, I'll give you a recipe to make some cookies and some brownies that will send your friend into an anxiety attack that lasts for 3 days.
I remember sitting in the bathtub going, okay.
It's not supposed to make you miserable.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, I decided to wrestle with the 500 milligram brownie one day. That was the last time I did that. It was not cute. I slept for a long time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's Thursday. I fell asleep on Monday.
I totally could have slept for I could have slept the entire damn weekend, but no, I had to get up and fucking perform.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the day the next day like, fuck that brownie. Like, I'll never eat one of those again. I'm a low dose girl myself.
Whoa.
I could smoke the fuck out of 20 blunts and think nothing of it, but when it comes to edibles, I try.
Is that absorbed by the body differently?
Totally, very differently. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that
And
the next.
On our Drugs the Great Debate
Right.
episode. Drugs and you.
So that would be a good video to put on our Patreon. Get that together and put it on our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know more about the drugs, subscribe to Patreon.
Or just the plants.
Yeah, just the plants. Yeah.
Yeah. We could do pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn is living for this. I mistakenly ate edibles all day out of cannabis cup. I was a zombie.
Yes, I've been at those cannabis cups too. It's hard not to because everybody gives you a free sample, girl. By the time you go around.
It's like going up to like a
Costco?
Like a wine festival where you get samples from everything, and then by the time you realize you don't think about it, and then by the time you're done, you've had like 6 glasses of wine all together, and you're like, why I don't feel it? I only had a sample.
You were supposed to spit.
Sample.
Yeah, can't do that with cannabis.
So you've got the Halloween at
Crescent Ballroom.
Crescent, and then on the 1st is the Haunted Hollywood.
Oh,
And then tell us about Dirty Disney. You've got exciting stuff happening with that too.
Well, yeah, we've been doing Dirty Disney for like a decade now. And we found that there's a whole lot of other people out there that were equally as disturbed by Disney as us. And so it's amazing, like all the people that flock out to it these days. So we decided to move it around and spread the filth all over the country. So we started with the Southwest, and we did a teeny tiny tour where it was just like Phoenix, Tucson. We did the Hotel Congress down there, and then we went to the legendary Cavern Club Theater in Los Angeles, which is a place run by a lovely gentleman named Mr. Dan, and he's been doing a drag theater for 25 years in this little space. So it's really cool that we get to be a part of that legacy, and so yeah, we went out there and folks loved it, and so we're going back out the end of November, the week before Thanksgiving, to taunt the mouse right next door to his house.
Yes!
She had that saved that.
Yeah, and it was cool because we had a lot of like folks that work for Disney, that showed up, and they appreciated it more than anybody else.
I'll bet they did.
They're like, this damn paycheck.
Indeed, and it's weird because it turns out there's Dirty Disneys all over the country. Like if you just Google it.
Oh yeah.
And then when we find clips and stuff from it, it's usually just people like dressing really trashy, but actually singing the Disney songs. To whereas we've rewritten like 35 of them at this point. And it's all live singing with some crazy ass queens. It's a good time.
Edward has questions about the Mary plant. Do different types of marijuana affect you differently? Like,
yes.
Like the edible versus a joint or brownies or whatever else.
Yeah, huge difference. Especially with the difference between smoking it and eating it and all of that kind of thing. Is all about absorption. Smoking cannabis is the worst way to get the benefits from it because most of it goes up in smoke. You only get about a 30% absorption rate. When you eat it, ingest it, you get more like 50 to 60% absorption rate. But sublingual, under the tongue or in the thin layers of skin in your vagina and your anus, then you get really good absorption. You get more like 90% absorption. So, and it hits you differently each way. Smoking it more of a cerebral high, to whereas if you eat it, you start getting more of a body high, which is why it's really effective to help people get off of opiates because it gives you a similar kind of high when you ingest it.
Netflix documentary where like this family was like really worried about their son because he had like some disease or something, but I can't remember what the disease was.
People fucked up. Let's just say.
But every time the doctor would prescribe these like huge doses of these pain pills. And she was like, my son is getting worse because there's something I can do. And he was like, no, you need to take these. And the son was like, they showed pictures of him like becoming thinner and thinner every year.
There's a term for that.
Wasting.
No. Yes, but no, there's actually a term for that, and what it is when the doctor prescribes you a medication, if you're reacting poorly to it, because you have to, like, with any medication, you have to give it a few weeks to see how, to get it into the body and actually, give it time to do what it's supposed to do. But if you're reacting poorly to something, a lot of times what the doctor will do is prescribe you a larger dose of whatever it is, thinking that it's
not working.
Thinking that it's the issue that is the problem. But what it is it's actually your body reacting to the medication. So every time your doctor prescribes you a higher dose, it's
your body reacting even harder
to the medication, not the actual problem that they're prescribing the medication for. And it's going to bother me.
But during this whole process, she found a strand. Is that
a strand? Yeah.
Yeah. She found now he's like up and walking. He's doing all the things he used to do. He's got like and he's almost like killed the illness that he has.
Oh yeah, I've seen miracles happen, on a regular basis because of this plant. It really, it has cured people's cancer. It's an amazing plant. All of the things that it can do.
There's a lot of questions.
I know, Edward, for a newbie who just wants to, see what it feels like, smoke a joint. Go smoke a joint with a loved one. And or maybe have an edible, an edible that's like 10 milligrams or 20. I would say 10 for you personally, and just give it a try and see what you think.
Are there side effects?
Yeah, there are side effects. Most of it is happy, hungry, sleepy. But there is a wide variety of side effects that people can experience, and some that are not very pleasant. Again, I'd urge you to pop on down to the Wellness Spot or Herbal Wellness Center, and we can talk about it at length, for sure. And sometimes it does last until the next day. Like if you eat some of those scary-ass Gunnar Gatlin brownies, you may feel it for 3 days. It just depends how much you ingest it and how your system processes it. Some people, like if you don't have a gallbladder, edibles won't work on you. Like literally nothing will happen.
Trying to remember, that was before I think I had my gallbladder out.
Yep. And so now you could probably eat all of the brownies and nothing would happen because your body just can't process it.
What is Evelyn saying? Yep, sativa is a mind high, indica is a body high, then there's hybrids and different strands.
Yeah, and hybrid is kind of like the best of both worlds. Indica, we like to say they get you in the couch. Sativa, more like a little head high. Yeah.
Oh, we got links popping up.
Okay. Go ahead, Evelyn. You better educate some hoes, honey. Yeah, and Leafly.com is a great place to go to where you can learn about all kinds of different strains and find out where you can find those strains here in Arizona. We work very closely with them. Yeah, I definitely, if you're interested in it, learn more about it. I think that was the key for me when I smoked pot for the first time when I was like 12. I really fell in love with Miss Mary and immediately went out and tried to learn everything I could.
And now it's even easier because you can go to fucking Google.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, back in the day, which I needed to use the Dewey Decimal System, some car catalogs and shit.
It is so much easier to get information on all sorts of topics by Googling.
Indeed. And I'm talking about some of this stuff too. I'm writing an article as Miss Mary J. Wano because somebody needs to give voice for Miss Mary in this day and age and kind of dispel this reefer madness mentality. So you can find Miss Mary's article on exactly the marijuana pages. So that's going to be coming out real soon. So keep your eyes peeled. Yes, and oh my goodness, love marijuana, or Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. Have you seen the original?
Of course.
Oh my
god.
Times. Fucking brilliant. It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, and for me, when I watched it the first time, I'm like, wow, well, I had some really bad marijuana then, because that never happened to my ass.
Right. Also, just throwing this out there, nobody's putting drugs in your kids' Halloween candy because drugs are expensive.
Exactly. Ain't nobody gonna spend all that money and give it away.
Just saying.
Lies. See more lies. Reefer Madness.
I blame Nancy Reagan.
So where
Yes,
can
yes.
folks find you on social media so they can keep track of where you're doing what you're doing and where you are?
Yeah, just look up Pandora DeStrange or Scott Pierce. You know, either one. You'll find this bitch. Pandora DeStrange, you'll find all kinds of ignorant stuff about her. But yeah, I'm on the Instagrams and I'm on the Facebooks and I'm on the Twitters, although I still don't understand what the fuck the point
I
of
don't do
is.
Twitter. I think it's stupid. I'm like,
I
so I
don't
have
get
to
it.
I have to keep it to 144 characters. Why? What's the fucking
That's
point?
right.
And then just throw
It's
it out
still
into the world and like
dumb.
nothing really happens
Like,
too much except for people spread it around.
It doesn't
They
make
need
any
to
sense to me.
offer those
I
drug
don't
panel
know.
tests for free.
I don't know. It's dumb. So Felicia, what have we got going on?
Hold on. They need to offer drug panel tests for free. What's she mean?
I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
this Friday, Felicia and I have Cat Bingo in Tempe at La Guitarra. It's a very special bingo. We're actually raising funds to help one of our regulars with the cost of her cancer treatment, talking
cool.
about Big Pharma.
And she just posted a picture of her bald.
Yep, she just shaved her head.
Sexy.
Right?
Yeah.
She looks pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
that'll be good. It's gonna be a pink themed cat bingo, and there's gonna be special cookies and stuff that are gonna be made where the
Special
proceeds,
cookies?
where the God, not those special. Where the proceeds are gonna go towards SOOO and her
Her treatment.
her treatment.
Mhm.
I am. Let's see, on Sunday. I
Sunday.
keep thinking it's
It's not.
much earlier than it actually is in terms of dates. Like I'm very
You're
confused
trying
right
to
now.
speed up.
No. Sunday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be at the Bookman's in Phoenix, which is at 19th Avenue and Northern, right next to Sprouts, right there.
In Phoenix.
Doing
Hi, Jessica.
a spooky story hour for kids. I'm reading one of my favorite stories from when I was a kid. And
You were a kid?
yeah, Sassy will be there as well as Christopher J. Hall, Miss Nature. And yeah, it'll be good. There'll be some spooky little songs and some stories and all sorts of fun stuff.
I love that you all are doing that. I heard you all had protesters like recently.
Last
Yeah, and it was
time,
terrible because none of their signs were grammatically correct. It was
Of course
awful.
not.
Fucking awful.
I wanted to just repost the pictures and be like,
I just want to go. I just want to go up to their sign with a giant red marker and just like underline things and just put "see me."
Yeah.
I used to hate those
But,
in high
yeah.
school. You just be like, but I
Yeah.
Oh, I tried.
I personally, I'm not bothered about the protesters. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, they, you look at the
it's-
pictures; they're like happy and smiling.
They're stupid.
Usually, like the ones that are out in front of Pride are like super angry.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god.
These folks need a fucking hobby. I don't know.
It's 20.
But
40?
yeah, so that's happening on Sunday. So if you want to come, if you have little ones that you want to come, if you want to borrow someone's kids, coming up to the Bookman's in Phoenix, 19th Avenue in Northern, 10 a.m. And then on the 31st, this is why I don't have any Halloween plans, because on the 31st, I'm actually flying to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Friday. I keep thinking that it's Friday. It's not. It's Thursday. isn't it?
Thursday, and then the first is on Friday.
So Thursday, I'm actually packing up for a weekend because I'm flying to Arkansas. I'll be there for a day.
Oh,
and
look at
then,
you getting a weekend getaway.
Fuck. And then driving to Oklahoma, and then I'll be back here on the 4th. I have 4 days, and then I leave for Austin for 10 days, which I'm super excited about. I cannot fucking wait. I'm headlining this year. I've got new
Tear the walls
numbers.
down.
I've got all sorts of stuff in store.
And one of them keeps playing in my head. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
I'm really really excited because it's always an amazing time, and it's something I look forward to every year. And I just
It's
want to
like
go
Christmas for you. That's how I feel.
Kind of the Ren Fair.
I feel
Ren
like
Fair
it's
is my
like
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
But I just want to go eat ramen. Really, that's the only reason why I'm going is for the ramen. There's a-
They don't have enough
There
ramen
is a
for you.
ramen place in Austin that has
It's
the
delicious.
best ramen I have
It's
ever had.
delicious.
There's
delicious.
no ramen place here that's even close.
Because it's gay ramen.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
What do they do?
You'll never get
Mm.
me.
And then Felicia, you've got the thing on the 31st at Crescent, yes?
Yes, with Miss Pandora.
Yeah.
It's Halloween in Fair Verona.
I don't
Come on
think-
down.
I mean, everybody dies, so I guess it's
It's a
accurate.
masquerade too, so bring a mask.
Oh.
'Cause
Or
that's what
bring
a
your
mask
face.
Great.
I'm just kidding.
Just a
But
face
it
mask.
does say on the flyer that a costume is required.
Oh,
Yes.
it does. Yes, I did see that.
We're all doing that this year. You need to wear a fucking costume.
Don't
And a
just show up in
onesie
your
doesn't
to the
onesie.
fucking
costume
count.
party.
A onesie
show up in
doesn't
your
fucking
onesie.
count.
I hate that.
It's not a fucking costume. It's pajamas.
Right?
Hate that shit.
It's a shark. No, it's not. Go home and change.
It's a tired queen that didn't put a costume on.
So we are brought to you by Wigs of a Kind. You can find them at wigsofakind.com, and also by the Burly Barber, the burlybarbers.com. You have to put the S, because I don't know, I've never tried without the
I don't know where it would
S.
take you. I've
So,
never seen it. No, I don't know.
if it leads to, like, the whitehouse.com,
Right.
I don't know anything about it. Just tell me about it. Special thanks to Brandon, Leanne, Carrie, and Corey McClemens. How come I only put their last name?
I don't know.
Allison, Joan, Best. I forgot to add him to the list because he's new. Supporting us on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/letshaveafifi, or you can contact me or Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Even though
Still
I
the
don't
login
really have
issue.
any,
We
I
can
don't really
fix
have
that.
any information.
Uh,
I can't get it.
Hi,
Love you
Aaron.
too, Aaron. Girl.
So be sure to like this episode, subscribe, share it with everybody, all your friends, all
And
your
since
enemies.
we talked about cannabis and wrapping
Trump
your
supporters, Trump supporters for sure.
dick. Yeah, see, wrapping your dick.
And and we've got. We can be a podcast. You can listen
We
to us
are
without
a
actually
podcast.
having to look at us, which sometimes.
But if you're listening to this, now you don't know what you're missing anyway, so it's okay. You can subscribe to us as a podcast on your way to work, as you work, if you work.
If you wreck, don't try to sue my ass, bitch. I ain't got no money. I spent it on
You
weed.
can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more. You can also follow us on Facebook. Most of you watch us on Facebook. So Twitter and Instagram. Special thanks to Pandora for being our special guest.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to all of you who watch us live and on the replay. And we will see you next week for a all new conversation. I forget who's next week.
I don't know. There were so many. I don't know who's who. I don't.
I mean, I
know.
booked
That's too
them.
popular,
I
bitch.
booked
They
them.
can't
I know, but didn't
Oh.
tell me. You're just like all of a sudden just bleh, all the people, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's fine.
They're
It's
all
totally
lining up to
fine.
Fefe.
Right. It's totally fine.
Ah.
And you know what? We are 2 episodes in, and no one's canceled on us yet. So hey, we are 2 for 2, folks. Yeah.
I was on, honey. Give it some time.
I'm trying to be optimistic. Usually by this point, we've already had somebody cancel.
Or we have to
So-
keep like switching it and be like, oh, that person canceled. Can you like move up a week?
Right. So, way to go, guys.
So
Anyway,
good night.
Good night. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.